while ago, but it's fine.
What?
It was supposed to start a while ago, but it's fine.
Where's Phil? contest. First, we'd like to have our contestants come on stage, so please welcome James Goulet, Rachel Aronde Setter, Jean Lockmanaman, Hayden Carlson, Jacqueline Barons, and Ellis Batten. These students will each present a speech they are interpreting for us. After all the speeches, the judges will finalize their thoughts and a winner and a runner-up will be announced. Hang on to your red tickets so that you can vote for your favorite film at the end of this. We are thrilled to welcome here today, especially friends and families in the audience and our judges. Our judges this year are Ms. Cara Bailey, English Language Arts Supervisor for the Westchester Area School District, Dr. Bonnie Perry, longtime coach of the Harrington Speech and Debate Team, former board member for the Pennsylvania High School Speech League and adjunct professor at Wharton Business School, and Marquise Robeson, Rustin Class of 2012 and winner of the 2011 Speaking Contest. Please welcome our judges. We appreciate your attention and support of the contestants, and engaged and respectful audience makes this experience much better for everyone. At the conclusion of the speeches, we will have the Rustin Film Contest while the judges deliberate. We are now ready for our first speaker. 50% of the American population is made up of introverts. However, society has a negative stigma placed on that word. In her TED Talk, 12th grade student Crystal Rebello provided insight on the struggles of being an introvert in today's society, as well as reasons to show there's nothing wrong with it. Here to reprise Rebello's speech is senior James Goulet.
I'm trying something that I'm not. It's something I've been trying to do for the past 3 years. Perform a speech, share my ideas, talk in front of a large group of people. Now, I know a lot of you are probably thinking, he sounds a bit shy, or maybe he probably gets nervous easily. Yeah, all those things are 100% true, but why? To put it simply, I am an introvert. So, what is an introvert? An introvert is a quiet person that doesn't like to talk very much and likes to keep their thoughts and opinions to themselves. They're the kind of person that goes home to relax and have time to think. But that's not to say that an outgoing person can't be an introvert to a certain extent. So the main thing I want to address in this speech is that there's nothing wrong with being an introvert. However, society doesn't see it in the same light. Society has taught us that being an introvert is the worst thing you can be, and that everyone should want to be extroverted. We're told that being outgoing is good, being shy and quiet is bad. And I too was told the same thing. As an introvert, these are some very hard standards to achieve. This is why I joined this competition, to prove to not only myself, but to everyone that I am not shy. I could perform a speech just like anyone else. No big deal. Slight problem, I've never done this before. No big deal. I couldn't come up with a topic that I was truly passionate about, that I truly felt like I wanted to share with the world. I would show up to each of these speeches and watch my peers continue to develop their skills. And I would get frustrated with myself. Why could they share their ideas so easily when I couldn't even come up with a topic? Now looking back, I realize I have passions, I have views on the world, and I have opinions. I just didn't want to share any of them because I'm an introvert. But is there anything wrong with that? Statistics say that 50% of Americans are introverts. So society is telling 50% of Americans that they need to change who they are to be accepted, to be successful, and to be happy. Introverts are known to be versatile, responsible, work well in small groups, and individually. So being an introvert has no effect on how happy or successful you are, as long as you see it in the right lighting. If you see yourself as an introvert and think of it as the worst thing in the world, you're never going to be happy with yourself, and you're going to constantly try to change to conform with society. But if you accept yourself as an introvert and you're happy about it, there's nothing stopping you from achieving your goals and what you want. All in all, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being an introvert. No matter what society may say, you don't have to change who you are, because being an introvert is great. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Leslie Feinberg was a butch trans lesbian, recipient of several honors, including the Lambda Literary Award, prolific writer, and champion of human rights. The following excerpt is taken from her seminal work, Stone Butch Blues. It concerns itself with the issues of police brutality, transgender identity, and women's liberation. Here to explore this excerpt is Rustin Senior Rachel Ariande Stepp.
Dear Teresa, I'm lying on my bed tonight, missing you. Hot tears running down my face. There's a fierce summer storm raging outside. I look for you in every woman's eyes as I pass by. I'm scared I'm not going to see your smiling, laughing, teasing face ever again. I had coffee in Greenwich Village earlier with a woman. Mutual friend hooked us up because she was into politics. We sat down and we had coffee, talked about democratic politics and seminars and photography and problems with her co-op and how she's so opposed to rent control. I was looking at her and thinking, she's looking at me, but she can't see me. I'm a stranger in this woman's eyes. And then she starts talking to me about how she hates the society for what it's done to women like me who hate themselves so much they have to look and act like men. I told her how cool and calm and collected, how women like me have existed since the dawn of time, before there was oppression, and how those societies respected them. She got her very interested expression on, and besides, it was time to leave. So I walked by this corner where these cops were laying into a homeless man, and I stopped, and I mouthed off to the cops, and they came at me with their clubs raised. She pulled me back by my belt loop. I felt myself falling back into a world I wanted to go again. I remember one time when I got out of the tank after a raid, the next morning you were there. You bailed me out. No charges, they just kept our money. You waited all night long in that police station, hoping you wouldn't hear me scream. I didn't. The next morning, you put your hands on my shirt, touched the bloody places, and said, I'll never get these stains out. Damn anyone who thinks you were relegated in life to worrying about my ring around the collar. It was such an oddly sweet way of saying, without saying what you were feeling. How, when I'm emotionally hurt, I shut down and say funny little things that seem so out of context. You drove me home, head in your lap, stroked my head, caressed me carefully, held me gently, ran a bath, set out my fresh underwear. I woke up alone in bed. You were crying at the kitchen table, sobbing, drinking. I took you into my arms. You struggled against me and said, it's my fault. I couldn't stop them. In that moment, I knew you really understood how I felt. I've always wanted to tell you this. How choking on anger, fighting to protect the people that you love, fighting back again and again, yet still never willing to give up. I just couldn't say it. I said, it's all right, it'll be okay. And you looked at me and smiled, and I took you back to bed. Where did we go wrong in life, sweet warrior woman? Good night, my love.
Thank you, Rachel. Have you ever had a moment that felt so wonderful that it almost felt like it wasn't real, and then woken up a few seconds later to realize that, in fact, it was an illusion of your imagination? Dreams can be euphoric, but can also cause us to lament when we realize that they are not real. Here to share a bittersweet dream by poet Cecilia Martinez is Junior D. Lakshman.
I don't mind being single, but sometimes I get this glimpse in my head. I imagine someone bringing me just breakfast in bed. The bedroom door opens slowly, like he's afraid I'll suddenly wake. The smell of donuts fills the air. When would he have even had time to bake? He puts a tray on the desk with the flowers he carefully had chosen. And I turn in my sleep, and he just looks at me, frozen, like he's saving to memory the image, like he couldn't believe it's really true. That's his I made it moment. He whispers, I'm in love with you. But he doesn't let me hear it yet. He just takes in the scene. If there is a place between heaven and heaven, I'm what he's sure lies between. And then my eyes slowly open with a smile and a yawn. For a second, I panic because I don't know where he's gone. And then I turn, and he's standing there with flowers and a tray. He sets them down next to me. Happy birthday. And I almost cry when he pulls out a little note. I didn't want to wake you. He takes off his coat. I went to your favorite donut shop. They knew you by name. I told them you were asleep. They wish that you had came. Kisses my forehead, caresses the hair on my head. Nobody's ever thought to bring me breakfast in bed. And I wanted to find the prettiest flowers, so I went into this floral store. When they saw my notes, they said they don't see you as much anymore. And they miss you, but they don't mind it. I laugh, cry with wonder as I shift in the blankets that you must have put me under. I didn't know you went there every birthday. And when I was my own Valentine, I celebrated it that way. With roses and eucalyptus, I look at the bouquet. So when I was writing this note, I thought, what would my favorite poet say? So I started with, happy birthday. I'm grateful you're in my life, not just in the good moments, but in the times of great strife. And I can't change the past or say what the future will hold, but I will make it my life's mission to love you better as we grow old. Because you are a vacation to everyone around, but also the home I want to come back to when I arrive back in town. You are the ocean with a love so vast. Without even trying, you make the effect of you last. So one rose for the past, one for each Valentine's Day. I'm proud of you, you know, for the inspiration you convey. One for the present, and one for each day of birth. And one extra to remind you of everything you've always been worth. Eucalyptus to de-stress, vegan donuts to start the day. If loving somebody could be an art, I would make you a Monet. I don't mind being single, but sometimes I get this glimpse in my head of somebody telling me that they love me. And then I wake up alone in my bed.
Thank you, Dina. From the Roman Empire trend to artists like Noah Kahn blowing up the algorithm, TikTok makes the world turn into mysterious ways. Caden was struggling to find his speaking context piece when the algorithm dropped this piece into his lap and ran. Brought to you by Roots Touring, words by Autumn Gray Avery, the emotions brought by Caden Carlson. Transgender struggles are depicted now to you with the tumultuous decisions of cutting off loved ones to love yourself.
I want you to know I've struggled with this tremendous guilt over the fact that all of this chaos centers around me. But I've been doing a lot of work to get rid of that guilt because my queerness isn't the problem. Despite your perception, my transition isn't an attack on you. I haven't actually done anything to hurt you. The fact is, having your worldview challenged, that is the problem. And I've also come to this strange dichotomy. On the one hand, releasing myself from the shackles of your opinions was crucial to my growth. But on the other hand, I wanted you to celebrate this emancipation with me. Because you are my father. But your neglect has left me frozen. The warm blanket of affection you made wasn't meant for the boy you never knew I was. It was draped over the girl you groomed me to be. Ha! You know, that's the first time since coming out I've allowed myself to use boy to refer to myself. How sad is that? So, thanks for that, I guess. I'm trying to be empathetic, but I know you were raised in a toxic household. But what I'm trying to say, never mind. When you first heard I was queer, did you shut down immediately, or was there any moment you cared? Would it have moved you at all to hear how embattled I've been my entire life? I tried so hard to embody your God's image in me, but I failed. So, to protect my virtue, I buried this sin deep within my psyche, but like a weed, it persisted. Every time it popped out of a crack, I snipped it. Going over to the boys section every Target food run, instead of going over to the girls section, snip. Or experiencing an awakening, watching my brother play sports with all of his friends and not be referred to as an other, or an it, or an extra, snip. Or the first time I was able to wear my hair in a beanie hat so nobody could tell it was long, my God. It's hard to convey just how amazing that moment was, how it felt. Snipping it wouldn't be enough. So I torched my longing for authenticity and disconnected for the next 7 years. Hearing all of that, would you have ever wondered if you fostered my self-loathing? I needed you to confront this with me, but instead you ran away. And like the submissive dog that I've always been, I waited for you to come back to me. I waited in vain. You offered sanctuary to the self-soothing notion of me, but you would never be a safe space for the actual me. Maybe that's why I struggle to be a safe space for me. Maybe that's why I still struggle to be a safe space for me. And you know, that's the saddest part. Not that you taught me to hate myself, to deny myself, but that I have been such a willing student. I need to let you go now. So this is me. I'm sorry I was so painful for you. And I'm sorry you felt a loss of life when I transitioned. I'm sorry you were lost. I love you, Dad. Goodbye.
Thank you, Katie. Clue, devised in 1943, is a board game where players must solve murder mystery. Inspired by this popular whodunit, Gabrielle Davis writes a monologue in homage to this classic family board game. Here to share Davis's monologue is Jacqueline Barrett.
Yes, yes. All right. You got me. I killed him. I killed the cook in the kitchen with the peanut butter. But honestly, what kind of a person with that severe of a peanut allergy goes into cooking? Yes, yes, I killed him. But if it hadn't been me, he would have eventually encountered peanuts on his own at some point. So how did I fool the cook into eating the peanut butter, you ask? Yes, I'm fairly certain Colonel Katz had asked just now, because he's dying to know. But I'll never tell. Oh, all right, fine, I'll tell. But only if he insists. And I mean only if he really insists. Oh, don't be a dip, Colonel Katz, just insist. Everyone's waiting for you to. Great. So I hid the peanut butter inside of chocolate. Yes, that's right. I invented a delicious chocolate treat with a peanut butter filling. Yes, it was shaped sort of like a very shallow cup. Why do you ask? Oh, all right, fine, I didn't invent it. I bought it at the checkout line at the grocery store. It doesn't take a PhD to figure that out, Professor Prune. But it was my idea to change the label on the packaging from peanut butter cups to chocolate cups. I even sent a copy of my packaging to the company because really, it's rather confusing calling them peanut butter cups when the cup part is really more of the chocolate. Yes, I bought the murder weapon in the impulse buy section at the checkout line in the grocery store. But I assure you, the murder was perfectly premeditated. And by premeditated, I mean I meditated beforehand. I closed my eyes and I imagined myself filled with light and the cook filled with peanut butter. It was really rather soothing because, you know, the whole killing people thing, not very zen. You see, I'm not the kind of woman who would, well, if he wasn't planning to expose our love affair and ruin my marriage and my husband's political career. Yes, that's right. The cook was my lover, my paramour. Don't look at me like that, Miss Flamingo. I know you've tasted his gentle consommes, lapped up his bisques, eaten his crabs, Florentine. So don't play innocent. He was a true artist in the kitchen, the kind of man who really knew how to get into your pantry. I loved him, but it was only a short order affair for me, and he wanted a full 16-course menu. I kept metaphorically saying, check, check please, but no, he did not listen. The check never came. So I did what I had to do. I let him cook me his final meal and ended it with a very delicious chocolate cup for dessert.
Thank you, Jacqueline. During the New York University's commencement in 2022, Taylor Swift delivered an address that touched on family, relationships, failure, and resilience. Here to deliver Ella's version of that address is Elizabeth.
Not a single one of us here has gotten here alone. We are each a patchwork quilt of all of those who have loved us, those who have believed in our futures, those who've shown us kindness and empathy and told us the truth when it wasn't easy to hear. Someone read stories to you. They taught you to dream. They explained this moral code of right and wrong for you to try to live by. And you had a billion questions, like how does the moon work? And why can we eat salad but not grass? Maybe they didn't do it perfectly. Nobody ever can. I hope today you will find a way to express your gratitude for all of the steps and missteps that have led us here today. Life can be heavy, especially when you try to carry it all at once. Part of growing up is learning, catch and release. That is knowing what things to hold and what things to release. You can't carry everything at once, and often the good things are lighter anyway, so there's more room for them. The times in my life where I was told no, told I wasn't good enough, that I didn't make the cut, those moments, they seem more important, more crucial than the times that I was told yes. And I know I sound like a consummate optimist who can never see the world for how it truly is, but I understand what it's like to feel pointless. And I know how hard it is to live your life through the lens of perfectionism. And so, this may be hard for you to hear, but in your life, you will, inevitably, misspeak, trust the wrong person, underreact, overreact, create a reality in which only your experience exists, hurt the people you love, deny any wrongdoing, feel guilty, let that guilt eat at you, hit rock bottom, finally address the pain you caused, try to do better next time, rinse, repeat. And these mistakes, they'll cause you to lose things. But what I'm trying to tell you is that when we lose things, we often gain things too. And so in your life, it will be hard to know which path to take. Whether you stand and you fight with everything you have, or to back down and apologize. Whether you should be turning and running, or holding on for dear life. Maybe the best thing to do is to listen to the wisdom of those who came before you. But how will you know what the right path is to take in these crucial moments? You won't. Scary news is, you're on your own now. Cool news is, you're on your own now. And so, I leave you with this. In our lives, we will be faced with so many choices, and we will make decisions based on our gut instincts, our dreams, our scars, and our desires. And as long as we are fortunate enough to be breathing, we will breathe in, breathe through, breathe deep, and breathe out. Thank you.
Thank you, Ella. Can we have another round of applause for all of our contestants? All right, speakers. All right, we're going to have the speakers come off the stage as we get ready for the film contest. All right, Rustin. This year we have 3 finalists selected from the films for our Rustin film contest. The first one is Mafia the Game, directed by Jackson Ward. The next one is Should Have Been Me, directed by Anna Barrett and Carol Gleason. And the third one is Turkey Day, directed by Kristen Gormley. At the conclusion of today's event, you'll be able to vote on the film you think is the best. You'll vote on your way out. Place your red ticket in the box. Okay, that's placed right outside of the auditorium. Be sure not to rip your ticket so that your vote counts. All right, and was Mr. Gillis ready? While they come back up, let's take a moment to thank the coaches. James Goulet was coached by Mr. Burke. Rachel Stetter was coached by Mr. Frechette. Gila Schmideman was coached by Mr. Tagline. Caden Carlson was coached by Mrs. Chessa. Kathleen Barons was coached by Mr. Shurmel. And Ella Battersby was coached by Mr. Deal. Thank you, coaches. Thank you to Mr. Byerly and the theater students for their technical assistance and the spotlight, and thank you to Mr. Deal and the film students for today's live stream. Congratulations to all the students, and thank you to the audience for making this a successful event. All right, now the verdict. The runner-up in the 2024 speaking contest, Jacqueline Barons. This year's winner of the 2024 Rustin Speaking Contest is Caden Carlson. Audience, thank you guys so much. We are ending a little earlier, so we are going to be heading back to third period. So on your way out, please vote for one of the films.